This is my predicted Chelsea 11 to face Club America in the third game of our USA pre-season tour. Now, after that 4-1 battering from Celtic only a few days ago, a lot of Chelsea fans have been screaming for Enzo Maresca to completely change his system. Now, I personally don't think Maresca will change his system entirely, but I think he will change how the system is implemented. Now, I have double-checked the injury list to make sure that this is as up-to-date as possible, so let's get into this predicted 11. Starting off in goal, we are going with Robert Sanchez. Now, we know that Maresca prefers Sanchez over all the other goalkeeping options currently. However, we have just signed Jorgensen from Villarreal, so Sanchez's days as Chelsea number one could be limited. I think it would be a bit too early to stick Jorgensen in the starting 11 as he's only just signed and only just travelled to the US, but no doubt we will be seeing him during the pre-season tour. Moving on to left centre-back, and I have chosen Levi Colwill. Now, I personally don't like Levi Colwill playing as a left-back when the game starts. I think that he looks a bit out of his depth and he's still learning the system for when we do invert and when we defend. That transition is where he is getting caught out a lot. However, as a left centre-back, I think he's going to play his best, his most natural position, and a big part of our defence. Moving on to the central centre-back, and I have gone for Tosin. I've been really impressed with Tosin and the way he's performed so far in a Chelsea shirt. It's still early days. Again, this is pre-season, but I've seen some very promising signs. He's commanding, he wins a lot of aerial duels, and he's very good on the ball. As the right centre-back, I have gone for Reece James. Now, this may come to a shock to a lot of people. A lot of people don't want Reece James inverting into midfield, and I can see the argument for it. I do think that Reece James is going to play that role a lot this season. However, after the first two games and it not working as well as Maresca wants it to, I feel like Reece James could be the right centre-back, which means he would naturally play as a right-back in defence, which he is more comfortable with. And that brings us on to the left-hand side of the double pivot, and I've chosen Viega. This allows us to invert from the left-hand side, meaning Colwill isn't playing as a left-back and could play more central, and it means Reece James can play as a right-back when in defence and can just shimmy across into right centre-back when we invert from the left-hand side. From the last two games we've played, we have been exposed where Reece James hasn't quite learned when to move and when to come back when he's inverting and coming back onto defence. With Viega, it being more natural to him, Enzo Maresca could use this so we could invert from the left-hand side, and later on in the game with Reece James being on the pitch also, we could then try to invert from the right-hand side and have this really fluid inverting system either side of the defence. Moving on to the right-hand side of that double pivot, and there's only one option for us currently on the way he's playing. That is Romeo Lavia. No other words, really. The guy is a baller. He looks so comfortable in that number 6 position. His distribution is fantastic. His pressing is great. His interceptions are great. He's just a very good addition to our squad, and I'm so grateful that he's fit. Moving on to the left wing position, and this may be a surprise to many of you, but I have chosen Raheem Sterling. Now, I will be brutally honest, I'm not the biggest Raheem Sterling fan. However, he has played okay when he's come off the bench. He's been very direct and trying to create chances. Yes, his end product and output hasn't been very great, but we know this of Raheem Sterling. I think it'd be very interesting to start him against Club America and see what the difference is when he starts a game rather than coming off the bench. Moving on to the left-hand side of those advanced 8 positions, I have chosen Kiernan Dewsbury-Hall, purely because we're yet to see him play any pre-season minutes, and I think if we are going to be using him for the start of the season, he needs some pre-season minutes. I'm just really excited and curious to see how he performs in this system. Moving on to the right-hand side of those advanced 8 positions, I have gone for Moises Caicedo. Now again, that may be a surprise to a lot of you, but personally I feel like Caicedo can unlock an entire dimension to his game by playing a bit further forward. He has a great weight of pass, good vision, he can press very well, he can intercept well, so he can do that higher up the pitch. However, if we are needed him to come back, he can drop back, pick the ball up, and drive forward with it. Not only that, but we haven't seen any pre-season minutes for Caicedo, and we want him fit and raring to go for the start of the season. Moving on to the right wing, and I've gone for Noni Madueke. Now, I really like Madueke. He's a direct player. He likes to run at defences, and he's very good at take-ons. The only thing that lets him down is very much like Sterling's game, where the output just isn't quite there yet. That final pass or that final shot is just way off where it needs to be. However, I think with Sterling and Madueke getting more minutes and being them direct wingers, I think that's what Maresca really wants for this system to work. And that leaves the number 9 position, and I've actually gone for Nicholas Jackson, purely because he needs pre-season minutes. We haven't seen him at all, and it would just be nice for him to get some minutes under his belt and really show us what he can bring to the table for this upcoming season. That doesn't mean I don't want to see Mark Gue. As we know with these pre-seasons, we are chopping and changing a lot of players throughout the game, so no doubt we will see Mark Gue being played. who is again a fantastic talent, who I really want to get on the score sheet. I think it'll be doing wonders for his confidence and his all-round game. But I think starting with Nicholas Jackson to give him a good run out and just get him a bit more match ready. So this is my predicted Chelsea 11 to face Club America in our third game of our USA pre-season tour. What are your thoughts? Do you agree with the lineup? Would you have different players playing? Let me know in the comments. I love having a conversation with you guys. I will be doing a live watch along here on this TikTok account, so if you are watching the game, feel free to come and say hi. I love talking to the community. And if you are new around here, make sure you hit that follow button.